The City of Eureka Boson and Planning Commission meeting. Today is September 10th. It is 6 p.m. and we are in the auditorium at 36 South Main Street. First thing on the agenda right now is the public hearing for the existing cup transfer at 50 Wall Street, the Wood Cabins, Price Ricadana, hope I get that right, applicants. Are they here? Yeah. Okay. And if you give me a little bit detail on your transfer and what's going on with the property? Can you hear us?
Yeah, is that a question for us?
Yes. Sorry. Yes, for the applicants. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, we are looking to purchase the property with the business contained within it. We're currently working with CS Bank. We're listing our home here in Pittsburgh and getting ready to get everything sold so that we can done everything as at the beginning of the year.
Okay. So you'll be living in the property?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions for the applicant? Is there anybody in the, oh, yes, go ahead, Michael.
Excuse me, is this going to be a bed and breakfast or just short-term rental?
It'll be run just the way it is now.
It's a tourist
Short-term
lodge.
rental?
Yes, it's a tourist lodge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. And since this is a hearing, is there anybody that want to speak on the applicant at 50 Wall Street? Okay. Seeing nobody approaching the microphone and nobody on it, we're gonna close the public hearing. So thank you very much for the information, and we'll get back to you. We'll have the next section in the planning meeting when we vote on it. So I stand by. All right. Okay. Tom, if you can do roll call.
Ann Soleil,
Here,
Mike Welch,
Here.
Fergie Stewart,
Here.
Susan Hallman is absent. She may be by Zoom.
Can you
And
hear
then I'm
me?
present,
Oh,
Tom.
I think I can hear her. Say again, Susan.
I'm here.
Okay. She's here.
Yes,
We just
I'm
don't.
Okay.
We don't have a video, but we have her voice.
okay.
Okay. All right. So we have 5 commissioners present. All right. I need a motion to either amend or approve the agenda. Has anybody looked over the agenda items?
Well, I have two things I'd like to amend.
Okay.
One would be to approve the minutes for August the 13th, 2024,
Okay. I've got that. Yep.
and then also to discuss a pending ordinance, changing the Eureka Springs Municipal Code zoning districts.
Okay. The zoning district ordinance.
Yeah, there's an ordinance that I have some questions about that's pending. I'd like to know if it's been approved. There's some questions I have about it.
Okay. That'll be number 4 under commission business, and number 3 is the approval of the 813 minutes. Okay. And one thing I want to change to speed things along is the first item will be changed from item number 2 on the Planning Commission new business to item number 1. So we're just going to flip-flop item number 2 up to item number 1. So the first item will be the existing cup transfer. Okay. All right. Going to get a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second?
Okay, I've got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Susan. All right. So it's been approved. Okay. So after the approval of the agenda, we have public comments. So each person gets 3 minutes. Tom, if you could measure the time if there's anybody. Second?
You do the Pledge of Allegiance. You do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pledge of Allegiance. We got to do, sorry, excuse me,
Sorry.
folks. We got to do the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
All right. So I think we got the agenda approved. Any public comments? Anyone that wants to come up to the microphone? It's up here in the front to discuss items on the agenda. Okay. Anybody? Public comments? Okay. Nobody's coming up. Okay. Not seeing any. So we're going to go on to our agenda. The first thing on the agenda is going to be the existing cup transfer at 50 Wall Street. I need a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second?
Okay, we've got a motion to discuss in a second. All right, all approved? Say yes.
Aye, yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, okay, go ahead.
I don't have any questions.
Okay,
I mean, this has been, it's a beautiful place. They take very good care of it. I've never heard one complain about it. I certainly don't have any issue with the transfer.
okay, go ahead, Michael.
This is just literally a transfer from one to another. There's no other changes to be involved.
No.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tom, anything?
No question.
Go ahead, no questions? Okay, Susan, you have anything?
No.
Okay, all right. Then we'll go, I need a motion to approve the applicant's transfer request at 50 Wall Street, the Woods Cabin. The applicant is Price Racondana.
I make a motion that we approve the transfer of the CUP at 50 Wall Street, the Woods Cabins.
Okay,
Second?
we have a initial motion and we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Okay, that's unanimous.
Sorry.
So congratulations to the applicants. You will be sending you the paperwork, and we'll get the city clerk to get you all that stuff you need for the signatures and everything. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. And next we have show cause hearings. At the show cause hearings, these are addresses that are noted for violations for their current licensing. So we're going to start with number 5 Ridgeway. It's a bed and breakfast. Is there anybody here to discuss the number 5 Ridgeway bed and breakfast? Okay, yeah, come on the microphone. Yeah, make sure you pull the microphone down to your mouth so you can hear us.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
All right. Thank you for having this.
okay. All right. So did you get the letter for the hearing
Yes,
today?
I did.
Okay. Okay, in the letter, it should have stated what shortfalls there were.
I think the concern was whether or not I was open full-time. Needless to say, during the pandemic, I was not, because I'm of an age where it would have been dangerous for me to be here and have people check in saying, oh, yes, I've had the vaccine, and they haven't. So those were forgiven, I think. I think the big concern is like 22 and 23 and 24. I have been open consistently. There has not been one time that I have not been available for guests, and there has not been one 6-month period when I have not had guests. I've had guests continuously. Most of them, right now, my bed and breakfast is closed because I'm having repairs made. And also, it's going to have to be repainted and a few other things. But the CAPC is aware of that, and I file papers every month stating that I'm closed for repairs. The repairs were supposed to have started in February, then they were knocked down to April. Then May, I ended up with two big tree limbs on my house, which are still there, I might add. And then I finally found a worker that I could depend on, Barney Gibson. And he was to start on August the 18th, and he called me from the hospital August the 17th and had just had emergency surgery for hernia. So it's still been delayed. He promises me that probably this next week we'll be starting the repair.
Okay, Ann, go ahead.
Who manages the bed and breakfast?
When
Who manages the bed and
I
breakfast? So you live there?
And I manage it. I've lived there for 23 years.
And how long have you been closed?
I have not been closed.
But you have not had guests since when?
I have what?
I thought you said a minute ago that you haven't been open because you're doing
I'm not
repairs.
open right now.
And how long have you been closed?
I've been closed since February.
And, yeah, I think, so your prolonged,
I had a contractor who was dishonest.
yeah.
Was supposed to have shown up. Instead, he took the money and took off.
Okay,
So then I had searched for better workers. I found Barney Gibson, and unfortunately Barney has health problems, but they're supposed to start. Now, in the meantime, I have been doing work on my own on the inside of the building.
Michael, anything?
Just the question, I mean, is
Yeah.
a construction project ongoing justification for not paying your dues?
No, the one of the criteria is that there's so many days that you're allowed to be, closed under construction, and I believe, if I'm not correct, Ann, it's 120 days.
180 days.
180 days. So it sounds like you might have exceeded that. But given what you told us today,
Right.
sounds like if I think going forward, if you could annotate that. Go ahead, Dan.
Given what she's just told us, I would like to make a motion that we postpone this show cause,
Okay.
and that prior to her opening, she has to bring us the fire marshal certificate, code enforcement certificate of occupancy. But I think there has to be a deadline.
Okay.
But
But,
there must be what?
A deadline.
yeah. When do you think your construction, if given,
I have guests coming Halloween,
okay.
so I'm expecting it. Now, we probably will not have the house painted by then,
Okay.
but I'm going to decorate it for Halloween
Okay.
because it's not painted.
Okay. So if we were to give October 31st as your deadline, you'd be able to meet that?
To have the exterior
To,
done.
well, to have your to be reopened for business.
To have all the.
Yeah, I am open for business October 31st. I guarantee
Okay.
you.
That's what I'm getting at. Okay.
I have 12 people.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah. Go ahead, Susan.
Did that?
Okay, so who is standing at the mic? The first name, last name?
Draxie Rogers, Susan.
Draxie Roberts.
Okay,
Rogers.
Traxie. Okay, I didn't hear you say that. I'm sorry. So, Ann, you proposed that they obtain a new certificate of occupancy prior to opening back up, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so, and Draxie, you are hoping to be open again by October?
By the end of October. I'm not really sure exactly how long it's going to take. We have to add a little porch, and we have to we have to get rid of some rotten wood that needs to be replaced.
Okay. Okay, I'm caught up now. Thank you.
Okay. So,
Do you have any other questions, Susan?
yeah. No, just talking to the microphone. She can hear. Okay. Yeah. The
Susan,
so
do you have any other questions?
I do not.
Okay.
No, my question really is just, the time frame, like what Ann said, since you're going to have repairs done and things done to that building, in my opinion, I think planning is within their rights to ask for a certificate of occupancy just as a new one to make sure that things are where they need to be since you've been closed for such a long period of time. But,
So,
I'm okay with postponing until we know when that's going to happen. But you would not be able to open back up unless you had that certificate of occupancy done.
okay, what is involved in a certificate of occupancy?
it basically a visit from the code officer. He'd come in and he would validate that everything's in. You'd basically just like when you buy a new house, he comes in and checks
All the fire stuff.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's not
All
a
right.
problem.
So right now we have a motion to postpone your hearing
Okay,
at a later.
let me address the elephant in the room, because there's been one for quite some time.
Okay.
And
I have never, ever, I've served on a lot of board of directors, I've served on committees like this, I've served on parks for 12 years, as you know.
I know. Yeah.
I have never seen where there is a conflict of interest, and that being Susan, if I understand, owns and operates a bed and breakfast. This hearing is to possibly eliminate some of the competition. And I have a problem with that. And I'm not the only one. It's discussed all the time among B&B owners, but everybody's too scared to say anything about it. We used to have more than one B&B owner on the commission. I don't know if we did still do it or not. But when David Mitchell was here, he was a B&B owner, and then Susan. And those two votes alone can create some real problems. I will tell you this, the last 5 years, B&Bs have been hammered with regulations. This town is known because of all the neat B&Bs we have. And people here work very hard to create that. I serve a full hot breakfast every morning where people normally skip their lunch and just go to dinner. Then I have an evening dessert when they come back. I make sure that everything is copacetic and that they really enjoy their stay. You can read my reviews.
Okay, yeah. And so just want to, basically, since, I've been on the commission, I've been making sure that there's no other reason than just the reason why the cause hearing was happening was because there was questions about the licensing and if you were in conformance. So it gives you just gives you a chance to publicly talk to us and give us the reasons why. And and really, as far as I know, no subvert activity like that you mentioned. So as far as I know, it's just that's the only reason why we brought you in, is just because we wanted to find out what was going on.
Okay, who votes on this?
The commissioners.
Okay, I think Susan should recuse herself from voting.
Okay. Well, right now we're gonna right now we have a motion to postpone your hearing so you can get time to get that construction done, and then get your move-in permit.
You don't want it done any faster than I do.
I understand, but that's what we're offering that, and so Ann made a motion of postponing
The name of the person who needs to come and check my house, and I will be glad to get in touch with
the code
Be the building inspector.
building
the
inspector.
building inspector.
It may be the fire marshal. I don't know whether.
Yes, he's new.
What's his name?
Paul Sutherland.
Paul Sutherland.
Paul Sutherland.
Okay, great, and he's
Okay.
here for that.
Yeah. Well, he's over at the Public Works building. They moved his office over to the Public Works building.
That'd
So,
be fine.
okay.
Okay,
All right.
I will
So,
make sure he comes.
So, Ann, did we get a second on your motion to postpone the hearing for 5 Ridgeway?
Second.
Okay. Got a second and a motion. So, if all in favor, vote yes.
I have one
Yes.
question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
If she doesn't get it, hypothetically, what, is this going to be postponed until the next meeting to review whether she has gotten it or not?
Right. Well, at that time, we'll review.
Okay.
But we're going
That's
to,
all.
so we're postponing it for this meeting.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And
So-
you'll notify me when that's going to be.
Exactly,
Okay.
right. We will send you, get another letter.
And as soon as I have a schedule of work from these people, I will get it to you, and you will know that it's underway, and we're
Okay.
working as hard as we can.
I know you are. I think you, thank you.
Let's
Yes,
call
go
for the vote again,
Okay.
please, because I didn't vote because he had a question.
Okay, good, okay. So, so we have a motion and a second for postponing the cause hearing for 5 Ridgeway. So those in favor, vote yes?
Yes.
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 Okay, we have a unanimous vote. Okay, thanks, Roxy.
And you'll let me know when.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay, the next property that we're doing a cause hearing for is 11 Singleton. It's a bed and breakfast, and I've been notified that it is no longer operating as a bed and breakfast. Is there anybody here representing 11 Singleton? No. Okay. All right. So therefore, I guess we need a motion to pull their license?
Well, you have to make the motion in the affirmative, so I guess the motion would be that 11 Singleton maintain their non-conforming status.
Okay, so we have a motion that 11 Singleton be allowed to maintain their non-conforming status. Do we have a second? No second.
Second.
Oh,
Susan second.
Susan's a second, okay. All right, so all in favor, yes or no?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
Okay, the motion fails. Okay.
Berkey, did you vote?
No, I did not, but it was already, you had 5 to 1, so I did not vote, but I vote no as well. Okay?
Okay.
All right, and, all right, so 11 Singleton has a valid, we have a valid cause, so we'll move forward on revocation of their license, is that right? Okay, so we're going to recommend that the city no longer operate as a bed and breakfast. Okay? All right, the next
No,
property.
they will-
Second? Go ahead, Susan.
No, they can always apply for a bed and breakfast
Oh.
license down the line. We are removing their legally non-conforming status
I
from
got you.
our code book.
I got you. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So the legally non-conforming status is being removed per the statute on the ordinance. Okay. Next property will be 7 Kings Highway Bed and Breakfast. Anybody here representing Kings Highway Bed and Breakfast?
Rob Strauss.
Okay. And Rob, Mr. Strauss, you got a letter?
I got a letter.
Okay. And in the letter, did it specify what they wanted, what they were asking about?
Yeah, 180 day.
Okay. Could you tell us what the letter said to you?
Here's my situation with the property. Is that the question?
Just to,
So, bought it in February and trying to figure out how we want the place laid out, what needs to be fixed, and been doing a lot of work around the place. We got a design, we got a contractor, takes a lot of time. We currently have a lot of dirt, a lot of dust, and a lot of bare 2x4s in our kitchen and our bathroom. Mike may have seen it, I'm not sure. And we're in the middle of a big renovation project. Contractors saying they will be done by Christmas. I think there's possibility to be done by Thanksgiving, but that's where we're at right now.
okay. Any questions, Commissioner? Okay. So you're stating it's under construction. You're not open for business and you're under construction.
Correct.
Okay. And you're expecting that to last more than, let's see, from now to Christmas is how many days? Anybody? That's
Roughly half a year, so say
half a year, 6 months.
100.
Be more than another 90.
Okay. So, so what I would like to do is get a motion. Go ahead.
I'm going to make a motion that we postpone this until you get your certificate of occupancy, and then come back and then we'll just move forward.
Okay.
Sure.
So there's a motion on the table that we suspend the hearing until the owner receives a certificate of occupancy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All right. Susan, you listening? Okay. All in favor?
I got it.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. Unanimous. All in favor. Okay. So do you understand what that entails? That means okay. So
Paul's there. He's been there at the property several times, checking it out, part of the permit process. So, and I just went through the certificate of occupancy back in February when I got the business license. So, yeah, I'm
Okay.
familiar with it.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. The next property we're looking at is 265 Spring Street.
256.
Huh? I'm sorry, 265 or
256.
256? Oh, it's 256 Spring Street. Is there anybody with that address that's here now for the public hearing? No. All right. And I had it listed as tourist lodging. Without a representative here at the table, and they should have received due notice of the hearing today, we're going to I guess, do we need a motion to recommend?
They haven't had a business license 2022. I'll make a motion that they retain their legal non-conforming status.
Okay, we have a motion that they retain their non-legal conforming, I can't say that.
Legal non-conforming.
Legal non-conforming status.
A second.
We have a second, so we're ready to vote. All in favor? All against?
No.
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
No.
Okay, so we have, so anybody out there on 256 Spring Street, we've upheld the cause hearing, and we will be removing your non-conforming legal status. All right? All right, next one, 1 Washington Street, multifamily dwelling. Are they represented here in the hearing? Okay? All right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm John Rankin. Bill King.
Okay, and you received letters for this hearing today?
Yes,
Okay, and in the letter, did it tell you what you were being called in for?
yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so there were 1, 2, 3. There were 4 things cited in the letter. First is change of use. I don't know. I'm not looking to change the use, so I'm not sure what that one is about. The second one is the 180-day rule. As you're aware, this is an apartment house. We had a fire on St. Patrick's Day 2022. We got right on it. We were working really hard. First, I cleared it with the city that we would be able to maintain our non-conforming use. We got on it. We worked hard for until December of 2022. We got all new electric in there. We got all new heat and air, separate units for each one. We got all new plumbing. We're well on our way to completion. We're pretty much close to just sheetrocking and insulating. And we got the new building inspector, and he shut us down. Several times we tried to work with him. Every time we did, he just kept moving the goalposts on us. And finally, when he made it clear that we were never going to be able to finish the project short of tearing it down and starting over with a new building, we gave up on it and just thought we would wait him out. And we waited him out, and now we're back on the job. We're working with the new building inspector. We're working with the fire marshal. They were up there last week. We're ready to move forward, get this job done. Another thing on here is no enlargement or alteration. The only alteration that we've made is there was a room perched on the top of the building. It was built there in the 80s. It should have never been there. It was up a narrow stairway, and the fire marshal, I have a letter from him saying we could not have that room up there again. And looks like the 180-day rule is on here twice.
Right,
So,
right. Okay, so,
And motion to discuss.
yeah, we're gonna, that's why you beat me to it. Can I get a motion to discuss?
Yeah, motion to discuss.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, all right, go ahead.
Aye.
Yep, thank you, Susan. Okay, go ahead.
I understand this was previously a multifamily housing unit, and given the need for housing, affordable housing in this town, we should do everything we can possibly to make sure this project is continued and brought back to where we can get affordable housing in here. So I understand that there's having conflicts with the previous building inspector, which I understand a lot of people did.
Correct.
And the mayor corrected that by firing him, and now we have a new gentleman. I think they should get an extension on their time to work with these new people to try to get this housing unit approved, because we desperately need housing for people in this town. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Tom, you got, Tom? Ann?
I think the recommendation was to give them a deadline.
Okay.
I think, can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead, Susan, go ahead.
Okay, I think there are two items here. They have a legally non-conforming status on that building currently. Obviously, it has been not in operation for over 2.5 years. the city has given them that LNC on the property. One of the items it has an LNC for is parking. And as a planning commission, we can certainly postpone their show cause hearing until they have completed the fixes. Obviously, they would have to have another certificate of occupancy done, but then we also would have to decide on parking. So parking could be a CUP. There's, you know, we've had, this property's been around for a long, long time. And I've never gotten a clear answer as to whether or not they had sufficient parking or didn't have sufficient parking. But a CUP would allow us to make sure that they do going forward.
Okay. Ian? Anything else?
In the code, we are listed as as non-conforming with one parking space. That's how it's listed in the code specifically.
Right.
Have you scheduled another structural engineer to come in?
I'm trying. I've had two different ones up here. They're hard. The ones I've had up here are the only ones that have ever called me back. I keep calling. I never get called back. I called one over in Lowell. I called them on Thursday, called them again on Monday, left messages. They sounded like they do exactly what we're needing them to do according to their website, but they don't call you back. They say, leave a message, we'll call you back. They don't call you back.
Good. Michael, go ahead.
Just given off the top of your head, what kind of extension would you think you would need, 6 months, a year? Or, I mean, because something has to be done.
Yeah, I don't think we need a year, but it might be a little more than 6 months. I mean, I want to trust me. No one wants to get it done more than me. I was working on it full speed ahead until we stopped. Where it's costing us money. It's an eyesore up there. I mean, I want to get back on it, make it look good again in the neighborhood. It's going to be nicer, safer. They're going to be better apartments than they ever were.
So, go ahead,
One
Michael.
more thing, just, only reason I'm clarifying, because we obviously can't let it go for the next 10 years.
No.
So, I mean, at some point, you've got to come to us and say,
Well,
okay, we've got it
certainly,
done.
if you want to put an 8-month or a year deadline on it, that would be fine. I'd love to have it done by Christmas. I mean, that's kind of my naive goal, but
Okay.
it's construction.
I'm open to whatever somebody
Okay.
knows more about it can tell me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, we could postpone this pending them getting a certificate of occupancy. It's like we did the others. It's up to you guys.
I make a motion that we postpone it till meeting in January. And then would you please come back and provide us with an update?
Yeah, my only issue with that is proceeding to put more money into it without the assurance that I can have 4 apartments there when we're done with all of this. And by postponing it, you're telling me, well, we're going to make a decision down the road after you spend another couple $100,000 and time on it.
Okay, you're wanting to make it larger, is that what you're saying?
No.
So,
Yeah.
I just want to know that I can have the same 4 apartments that have always been there.
but
When
we
we're done with
can't,
this.
as the planning commission, that's going to be up to the code enforcement and the fire marshal.
Right. We can't guarantee their results.
No, but your position is the non-conforming use. So I want to know that I can continue my non-conforming use. Of course, I will have a C of O.
Yeah, we're suggesting that we postpone the show cause hearing
Right.
till January. And then you come back and give us an update of where you are.
Okay, but did you understand the point that I just made, though? If I go full tilt on it for another 4 or 5 months, and then I come back here,
If you come back in January and tell us that you've made contact with an engineer and he can't do it till April, I understand that.
okay. But I guess what I'm asking
Can I
is...
make a comment?
Go ahead, Susan. Go ahead, Susan.
Okay, so your legally non-conforming has not been pulled.
Okay,
The show cause has been postponed.
okay,
It could still be full if you don't make changes that you need to make through this process. Does that help?
okay. So as long as I get my C of O and what I will have my non-conforming still. That's what we're saying.
As long,
Yeah.
I mean, right now, we're not pulling your legally non-conforming, and
Okay.
we won't do that until we have more information
Yeah.
based on your update.
Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah, and given the desire for more housing, I think that, you've got a good, that's on your side.
Right.
So
I make a motion that we postpone this until the January meeting, and then they can come back and give us a status report. And if you've been able to contact an engineer and he can't start till later, at least we know we're making progress.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so second, do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, all right, I've got a motion to postpone the public hearing for 1 Washington Street till the January 25th meeting. And we have a second, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we have unanimous, okay? All right, well, thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And the last one I've got here, but it's got written postponed to October meeting. The 8th Washington Street hearing's been postponed
Now,
till,
that was marked off on my
Me and
agenda.
Michael has marked off too.
okay, so it's still happening, okay,
He's,
go ahead.
yeah, he's on the call, he's on our Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm right here.
Okay,
Hi, guys.
good. Okay, well, so 8 Washington Street, bed and breakfast, we have a show cause hearing. Who's representing the 8 Washington Street?
It would be me, Jonas Funston. I'm the owner with my wife, Jamie.
All right, and you received a letter informing you about the hearing today?
I did, yes, sir.
Okay, and in the letter, did it state the reasons for your hearing?
It said it does not comply with one or more of the requiring, but it didn't specify which. So I'm guessing it was the talking with the folks down at the city, because I've been in contact with Kyle before his departure and Ida and a couple other folks. I think it was our reinspection was required for our certificate of occupancy. We had the inspection done prior to closing on the property, and actually came out, excuse me, came out to work on the property and get everything in compliance. And then I had reached out to, I believe his name was Jacob Colburn?
Yes.
Colburn, something like that? Multiple times, left him some messages, some emails, trying to get a reinspection rescheduled. I think we probably reached out 3, 4, 5 times. Never got word. And then when we got this letter, reached out, and turns out we needed to have the reinspection done. So we had the new inspector come out, or the fill-in inspector, I believe, because I think he's in training. Pretty minor items. We had 2 smoke detectors that needed to be added, or one I think was dead, and then 2 GFCI receptacles, one in each of the units. So we took care of that. We got that signed off. We paid for the certificate of occupancy, business permit, all that stuff. So to my understanding, I believe we're in compliance now, but just wanted to jump on the call to verify that we're good, or if there's anything outstanding that we need to take care of.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so your certificate of occupancy was approved today, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I just looked some paperwork, and that's exactly correct. That is correct.
Questions?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
So I think we've got some issues other than the certificate of occupancy.
Okay.
They've changed the use. They now have one long-term tenant there. Got an email today that the manager lives across the street. Managers can't live across the street. Managers have to live on the property.
That was, so we didn't change the use when we got the CUP. The requirement was to have an on-site manager and then have the CUP for the 2 units. We had hired a gal by the name of Aspen Vaughn with Blessed Bohemian Properties. She's at Keller Williams, Market Pro Realty. She was originally going to be our manager. She was going to do the marketing management, help us secure the tenant, which she did, and also assist with the Airbnbs. And one of the requirements of hiring her was that the on-site long-term, which is Corey Dremel, who she found, would have management responsibilities and duties. That was always conveyed and part of the condition of us hiring her to assist with this process. She didn't even put the property for rent or list the property at all for almost 5 weeks, and I wasn't aware of it until I brought it to her attention. And then once she had secured the tenant, she had confirmed that that Corey's responsibility would be to do the on-site management and assist with that. We came out to the property, met Corey, did some finishing up work, and at that time, Corey had indicated that that was never communicated or conveyed to her, that it was going to be a requirement. So we had worked out an agreement with her on that, and as a backstop, we also brought in Beverly Dufort, who lives across the street, directly across the street, and so she also assists with that as well. So we ended up firing or letting go, I should say, of Aspen due to the fact that she didn't fulfill her fiduciary and the requirements that we had asked and that we were supposed to do as far as compliance purposes. And so we basically, like I said, had to take matters into our own hands with Corey, the on-site tenant, as well as assistance from Beverly.
Good, Michael.
Just to clarify something, I received a copy of an email that was posted from you saying that 8 Washington has obtained their occupancy today and their business license. The owners, and this is dated September 10th, today. The owners listed Beverly, a person named Beverly, at 5 Washington, which is across the street, as their manager and not their tenant. And it says that the owner resident manager contact information must be certified each year when the business license is renewed. Well, we can't certify her as your manager if she lives across the street, because the definition of a bed and breakfast states that for the purpose of this section, on-site shall be defined as adjoining, sharing a boundary, and shall not include properties separated by a city street, roadway, green space, or alley. The person you've hired, Beverly, is not authorized to be a on-site manager for your address.
Understand. So like I said, it was a backstop due to the issue that we ran into with the realtor that we had hired to assist with that. And like I said, we were more or less, I wouldn't say hoodwinked, but like I said, that was the requirement of us hiring her, to bring in somebody, and she was aware of the CUP requirements and assured us that that was the case and that was taken care of. So, we've been in communication with Corey, who is on site. She has assisted as well with certain management roles and activities, but she does also travel because her daughter lives in Fayetteville. And so we also have Beverly assist with that, and Beverly does the cleaning. Corey does not do the cleaning. So Beverly does more responsibilities in regards to, stocking and mail and trash and sundries, and there's also a koi pond in the back, feeding the fish. So that's more or less, what went down.
Jonas, I have a question.
Go ahead, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Okay, so is your long-term resident willing to appear before the Planning Commission or sign paperwork to say that he is your manager? Because that's what this comes down to.
I understand. I'm sure I'll need to talk to her. I didn't, have that discussion with her in advance, but I'm more than happy to make those arrangements and have her assist with that. So yeah, just let me know, when we need to do that and how we need to do that and kind of what the process is, and we'll go from there.
I would like to know who does the breakfast.
Beverly. Beverly does the turns. Beverly goes in and prior to guest check-in, she goes and turns all the lights on, opens up all the windows, gets the AC going, and sets out the breakfast.
Okay. I have a question,
Sure.
Matt, as well. So on all of your marketing information that's out there on the web. On Airbnb, where you're posted for Tower House Inn and White Squirrel, and also on your website. You do not mention that you are a bed and breakfast. There is no mention of this facility being a bed and breakfast. If I were to look at it, if anyone were to look at it, if we as the Planning Commission were to look at that website, we would assume that you are running a tourist lodging business, which is no longer allowed in, which we are not issuing any new licenses in residential areas. The reason why you have a 2-unit B&B is because that is the only license that was available.
Right.
So you're not advertising as a bed and breakfast. It sounds like we've got some issues with who's actually managing it, or who is responsible for those guests in-house living on property. And then you've also changed the use of it. So you have a long-term rental there. You also, which is over 28 days. Short-term rentals are allowed 28 days and under. They are not allowed to rent over 28 days. Both White Squirrel and Tower House Inn are listed on Airbnb as long-term, available as long-term rental. And that is against code, according to your license.
Okay. Those are easy edits. I certainly wouldn't do anything to intentionally, violate the policy. We've obviously spent a lot of money in purchasing the property and renovating, and we wouldn't do anything ever intentional to do anything to jeopardize that, because that would be, a huge detriment, to us and to the community, in general. So if I'm understanding correctly, the verbiage or the dates available for both those units need to be capped at 28 days per unit. Is that what you're explaining to me?
Yes, on Airbnb, there is we're listed on Airbnb. There is number one, there is a category for bed and breakfast. You should be in there. Number two, it allows you to say all of the amenities that are available. And one of the things is that would you be available for extended stays over 28 days? And currently, you have that marked as yes.
Okay. Well, I could jump in there and make those edits immediately, this evening. I mean, that's an easy fix. So, I could send over the, go ahead.
I have one other question for you.
Sure.
I know that your CAPC permit was just received, I believe, within probably the last maybe 2 weeks. I think it was August 24th. But the CAPC has sent us a signed letter saying that no CAPC taxes have been collected from that address, from that property since November of 23.
Okay.
So can you give us some information on that?
Yes and no. My understanding was, so we also own some properties in Arizona, and the payouts are actually done through Airbnb. So my assumption that was also being done here. So that's, doesn't sound like that's the case. We clearly want to be in compliance and make sure that we get that taken care of. I have no problem paying any taxes, or if there's any, back fees or penalties or anything like that, we can certainly get that taken care of and make sure that, that we're, doing what we need to do. We're looking to be an asset to the, community. We don't view this as just a business. We love that area. We fell in love with Eureka Springs. We live here in Arizona full time. We fell in love with Eureka Springs because of our affinity for Bisbee, Arizona. I don't know if you guys know Bisbee, but literally my favorite place in Arizona. We have a home down there and, run a similar business down there. And then a friend introduced us to Eureka Springs because she knows that was kind of, right up our alley. So we came out here and, we're not just looking to be, have this be a business. We integrated the community. We, kind of met all the neighbors we humanly possibly. We, come down multiple times a year to, stay for ourselves and to bring our family and that sort of thing. So, this property is, very close to us and dear to us and, and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, I'm not of retirement age. We still have some, my daughter's out, out of high school, but our son's still in school, so we're not really in a position to come out there for long periods of time or relocate just yet. But that's certainly something that's on our radar because we're getting burnt out here in Arizona between the heat and the people and the just a lot of factors, the political environment. There's just a lot of stuff going on out here that we just don't love anymore, and so we're kind of slowly looking to make that more and more of our home. So whatever we need to do to get in compliance, we're here to work with you guys, not work against you guys. So I apologize if there was misunderstandings. Like I said, we being from out of state, our intent was not to manage it ourselves, and unfortunately, given what happened with the lack of communication and the lack of fiduciary and things not being handled properly, unfortunately, it was kind of dumped on our plate. So it was, we had to, out of necessity, take care of it. So there may have been some mistakes made along the way. So if that's the case, I apologize.
Okay. Do we have a motion on the table?
Well, I'm not in favor of having a manager across the street. We can't do that.
I understand. I mean, I was thinking about postponement till, no? Okay. No? Okay. All right. Do we have well, let me just do it. I need a motion to, approve the non-conditional use?
There's CUP.
CUP, okay. So we'll need a motion to approve.
Motion to suspend the CUP
I'll-
license?
Say again, Susan?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll make a motion. And I would say that the motion, in my opinion, should be that they've got their certificate of occupancy done. They need to prove that they have paid CAPC taxes, and they need to prove that they have an attendee at our next meeting who will verify that they are the on-site manager. Now you can have somebody come in and do your laundry and things like that, but the reason why a manager is important in a residential neighborhood is that if somebody gets loud or causes trouble, then the police have a contact of who they will be talking to. If there's a tornado, that person is there to assist those guests in where they need to be that is the safest place in the house. If there's a fire, you're in Arizona, that manager should be responsible to be that person that city services can call either for inspections, fire inspections, all of those things. And really, you have to have somebody there because that's the license that you were issued. So I would make a motion that we postpone this for 30 days, that we would allow them to have their manager come to our next meeting and verify that they are responsible for those items, and that they also verify that they are current on their CAPC taxes. It's an easy thing to do in Airbnb. You can run your report and you can sign them, and you could provide those to the Planning Commission. And then also the advertising. You are a B&B. You need to be in the B&B category on Airbnb. You do not need to look like a tourist lodging, and you just need to advertise that way. If you can do those things, then, I would say nobody wants to take a license away. But if you can do those things, then does everyone agree that that would satisfy their CUP?
Okay. Go ahead, Michael.
Question, Susan, could you compress your motion to say specifically what you want to read? What are you exactly asking for?
My motion would be that we postpone their show cause for 30 days.
Okay, thank you.
They
Second.
verify their CAPC tax, they verify and have in attendance their manager, and that they have fixed their advertising to show that they are a B&B.
I second.
Is that too much?
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and all in favor, indicate by saying yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All against? We got one no. Okay, so it's 4-1 in favor of the motion. All right, the motion passes. Okay, so 8 Washington Street. We'll see you in the next meeting. So thank you for your time today.
All right, thank you so much.
All right. All right. The next thing on our agenda is going to be commission business, B&B ordinance updates and discussions. Is that Ann, you?
I do not have a copy of it. Did not
Okay.
have a copy of it. I will go down tomorrow and get a copy for the next meeting.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just defer that to the next meeting.
I have a question about
Go ahead. Go
In
ahead,
fact,
Mike.
what I'll do
Okay.
is I will have it sent to everybody before the next meeting.
Okay.
So you have enough time if you want to tweak it,
Perfect.
add to it, or whatever.
Perfect. That'd be great.
Thank you.
All right. Right. And yes, sir.
I came across something about clarification of the coding, the code. I got a copy of an ordinance that this council submitted, and I'd like you guys to see it because I don't have an ordinance number that was ever assigned, and it was ever signed, but it was submitted this year.
Okay.
It clarifies specifically what a B&B needs, and to show that they have to pay their taxes, had to show verification. It was all written by, I assume, this commission and forwarded to the city council. And this is the ordinance, but it was never assigned a number that I know of. And I asked
Okay.
Ida about it today on the email.
We might ask Ida to look that over.
I do not believe that this has been turned into city council yet, because we're talking about a unit. This was a draft of some of the things that we were working on.
Okay.
We have not turned this in.
Oh, okay.
This goes right along with the B&B ordinance.
Right. And Michael, before you got here, that was one of the major things we were
You know what I'm talking
trying to
about?
digest. Yeah, the digest was the definition of a unit.
Okay.
And that was one of the things that we were working on. And,
Is that something we're looking
well,
to submit to the city council?
because it's an integral part of well, just like tonight, the CUP application, the units it goes along with how many parking spaces they have to have. So it's a very integral part of the licensing.
The problem I have, the reason I ask about it is because I researched in here under section 14 about the penalty phase and all that. I could just barely find a couple notations that actually listed that people have to, the 180 days.
Right.
And about the taxing, it's not really specifically supported when you ask for it, but this would have clarified it. I just wanted to make sure that we need to get that in.
Yeah, we do. And so
Okay,
we'll work on that. Matter of fact, if you want to jump on that and push that at the next meeting, we'll put that on our agenda for next meeting.
Sure.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I'd like to get that clarified.
All right. And then upcoming workshop discussion. I guess, did anyone ever get a date on the parking lot discussion or parking permit discussion from the city council?
No, I'll ask about
Okay.
that.
That's the only,
We have a workshop Thursday.
Now, we have one Thursday. I was going to tell the commission, I cannot be there. I have a doctor's appointment in Fayetteville at 4 o'clock, so I can't, my jet's not working this week, so I can't get back here in time. So anyway, so I won't be able to be here, but I'm sure that's going to be a good workshop. Yes.
And that workshop is on
It's Thursday,
Thursday.
4.
No.
Thursday at 4 o'clock.
subject
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, what's the subject of this workshop?
Tom, do you know what, that workshop on Thursday? I saw it online.
Down Spring Street or?
Spring Street parking.
Spring Street parking. Maybe that is the parking one.
I think so.
Maybe that is the parking one.
No.
No?
We had one on that.
Susan, do you know what it is?
Sue? Susan?
She
signed
might be
up.
go.
You still there, Susan?
Oh, I'll ask in the morning.
Okay.
I haven't sent that email.
All right, okay.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. I saw that thing and I was like,
Okay.
And so the last thing we've got is the approval of the minutes. Did everyone get the email of the minutes for August 13th?
Yes,
Motion to approve the minutes of August 13th.
second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the minutes for August 13th. All approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, aye. So we have a request for adjournment. Anything else? Any comments from the commission? Any comments? Michael?
Motion to adjourn.
I just want to say how great weekend we had. The festival was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is still new to me, and I'm
Yeah.
still tickled to death about everything. So
Okay.
I had a great time.
Okay. Tom?
No comment.
Susan, are you still out there? We lose her. No.
Be gone.
I guess we lost her. Okay, so yeah, I went to the car show. It was really good. Actually, there was another car show on Saturday, or not Saturday, on Sunday at Holiday Island. So I got to see 2 car shows. So it was kind of cool. But yeah, it was very nice. It was good. It was actually, it's good to see that many people on the street again, because I hadn't seen that kind of size of a crowd in a while. So it was really nice to see. And I hope everybody gets out there, and we have another great weekend coming up. So everybody be safe, and thanks you for coming. I get a motion for dismissal.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Thank
All in
you.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.